Good evening. Hope everybody's doing all right. Man. So got a bunch of different stuff that I want to cover real quick at the very, very top before we get into the subject at hand, if you will. First off, I had to spend a fair amount of time picking up sticks today. We had a storm move through. And so I had to pick up sticks. Some of them qualify for the title of branches, and there was one about, I would say, 4 inches in diameter. So not all real super tiny. Anywho, so I got them all moved over, got them in a big pile, and in the morning when it's cooler, I'm going to go out there and cut them up, which reminds me to tell folks that they might want to get something like this if they don't have something like this. It'd be handy to, especially for your bug out bag. It's the pedophile punishment 3000. You can use this for multiple reasons. However, I really do like the idea of the pedophile punishment system. I think that would probably do the trick. Anyway, no, seriously, I don't have a chainsaw or anything like that, so this is it. This is what I got. And this is normally in my bug out bag, but I just wanted to remind people. I know Silky is a very well-known and reputable brand. This is not a Silky. This brand of this one is, I don't know if I can get it on the camera or not. I don't know if you guys would be able to see it if I did. Anyway, it's Corona. It's razor tooth saw. Anyway, it's Corona. I can't remember what the length of this one is off the top of my head. It's the number on it under the Corona is RS7265. So I can't remember what length this one is. I can't remember. But anyway, these came highly, highly recommended when I was in the market for one, and at a fraction of the cost of the Silky. So anyway, don't forget something like that. It could come in very, very, very handy. I know in my case it would, because at least currently, and I do need to fix this issue whenever I can, but I don't have an axe of any kind. That's right, I don't have an axe to grind. Not at all. So I'm left with this, and then I have the I can't remember, the Schrade SCH. It's the Jess X, right? I think it's the Jess X, what they call the Jess X, if I'm not mistaken. The Prepared Mind 101, right? Is that the right one? Prepared Mind. I may be wrong on that. I might be getting channels confused. Anyway, there's a channel, the guy does a lot of knife stuff. He does flashlight stuff and stuff as well, but he does a lot of knife stuff. He does power bank stuff, and anyway, he did some videos. Hang on. Sorry about that. So anyway, he did some videos on it, and he's the one that designed the knife, and I think it's the SCH-43, actually, is what it's called. But anyway, Schrade made it for a short time. I don't know what kind of luck you would have in getting one. You definitely aren't going to get one made like the one he designed, as far as down to the specifications like he designed it. That was his problem with Schrade, and that's why he broke with Schrade. But I think you can still get that same knife, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on. But it's, the reason I'm showing you is because, I think it's a 43, SCH-43. Yeah, Jessica X is what he called it. And right here, like this says discontinued here, but yeah, this is the what I'm talking about. I've got this in my bug out bag, or not in it, but attached to the outside of it, and I have this, and so I figure between the two, I should be okay. So, I mean, I'm not planning on going out into the woods and living out. Well, I mean, that's probably what it would be. If I tried to go out and survive in the woods, it would literally be me going out there for the rest, for the entirety of my life, which wouldn't be very long. Just to be honest with you and keeping it real, I know there's a lot of people. Oh, I'll go out in the woods and I'll fish and hunt and I'll be just fine. And there's some people that can do that. Don't get me wrong. But the large majority of us might be a bit rough. And for folks like me with health problems, it ain't going to last very long at all. So that's not something I really entertain to begin with. But as I tell people, and I really, really mean this, if you are not preparing, if you're not intending to bug out, if you're intending to bug in, that is all the more reason to be prepared to bug out. Okay, so just because you prepare to bug in, don't forego having a bug out bag or an inch bag or something like that. Don't forego that, because you're going to be the one that needs it more likely than somebody that had already planned to leave. So, just saying. Okay, so I wanted to just kind of go over that. That was a good reminder about having a saw of some sort in your bug out bag. The next thing that I want to cover real quick, and I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on it, because I'll tell you what, I got a doozy for you. There's this whole thing going around because of Project Veritas and obtaining some pictures of a document. And so it's got everybody talking about, like what you see in the title, militia, violent extremists is, and I'm just going to say it. I know there's a lot of people that dance around saying, I'm not going to dance around saying it, I'm going to say it. Come on. It's words. Oh, but YouTube, well, I don't care. I'm not going to play games. So anyway, I'm going to get to that, and I've got some really interesting stuff involving that and something from, quite some time ago. Let's see, 9 years ago. So We'll talk about that in just a second. Let me bring you back over to the web view. I have ranted and raved about portable folding solar panels left and right for a reason. So, as I put out in a video, those portable foldable panels, they are great for camping, something that you just need to use here and there. Not something even remotely long-term. Okay? And I know a lot of people probably don't want to believe that because they're so cool. Well, let me show you what somebody experienced as a result of trying to use these panels as just a everyday, all-day thing. Right? Right here, he said, I'm starting to think that the solar panels from EcoFlow don't want to last more than a few months around me. I have two 220-watt panels. Go look at the price of those puppies. Going strong for a month. Last week, one of the corner panels suddenly cracked. He RMA'd it, and they're supposed to be getting a new one back. Now his second panel has a hole in the center edge of the panel. He says, am I just abusing my panels too much, or are they not meant to be used daily? Any help in maintaining the longevity of my panels would be helpful. And I know I don't watch, but Pinball needs to pay close attention to this. Because, okay, there's some fanboys in here of EcoFlow. And I love EcoFlow. I am not knocking EcoFlow, okay? I want people to fully understand that. I love EcoFlow. okay? But there hasn't been a good portable panel produced, and that's what I can't seem to get through because they're so cool. They're so cool. So anyway, I said what I had to say here, right? I'm not interested. You guys know what I have to say about it. Let's see what others say about it. There was somebody that commented on it. Somebody here, right here, Chuck Erickson. Portable panels are not intended for daily use. They're not. They are not. So this guy here it is, what I was wanting to show you. Somebody asked, how did it happen? The gentleman said, this hole, I'm not sure. I leave my panels in my side yard. I started noticing the hole was very small a week ago and thought nothing of it. Today it's grown to include both sides. I used to use the case as a stand until I noticed that the bottom flaps were bending, nowhere near any panels. Then I swapped to leaning them against the two chairs. And this guy quoted him saying, I leave my panels in my side yard. He said, that's your problem. These are not supposed to be outside all the time. For that, you should use, what's that say? Rigid panels. Imagine that. This guy here says outside, even during rainstorms, baking in the sun. Right? That's what the guy asked. This guy is fanboying for the product and trying to say, hey, wait, are you baking in the sun? Who in the hell would put a solar panel to bake in the sun? You got to be out of your mind if you're going to put a solar panel on the sun. Sun? Not trying to take anything from Pepper Nation there, but that was a good place to put it. Anyway, so the gentleman that made the post said, yes, storms, no, or baking, yes, storms, no. I bring them in before any rain happens. The guy replies, sun is very damaging. Got a question, and so do other people. Somebody asked him, how do you use a solar panel and not have it bake in the sun? Isn't that how they work? And the guy replied, not the portable ones like the EcoFlow ones. I leave rigid solar panels outside 24/7. Damn, even the fanboy knows this. Even the fanboy knows this. Imagine that. Imagine that. Now you guys know why I had so much attitude at and towards pinball preparedness for more or less calling me an idiot for using rigid panels with an EcoFlow Delta. Yeah, I'll probably use them. I'm not an idiot. Anyway, it's hilarious though. Folks, I didn't intend to spend this long on it, but I can't emphasize this enough. If you're buying your solar setup for prepping because you're a prepper, leave the frickin' portable panels on the website. Please. I know what I'm talking about because this is something I've been involved with for a very, very long time. I'm not somebody that gets a bunch of free shit sent to me to get on and pimp and just conveniently leave out what could put you and where you're going to get a panel. So if you don't know this, if you don't know about this, and your panel, that happens to your panels because you used them every day like you expected that you would be able to because they're solar panels, you know, it's sad to me that not one company, and this is on the companies, that not one company comes out and really lets folks know what happens if they try to use these on a daily basis. And if you're in an SHTF, especially long term, aren't you probably going to be using your solar panels every day? It's not that I want to be a jackass towards pinball, but he's the one that decided to make a poke at me. That's on him. I'm not going to hide behind the truth. Bullshit. I'm going to be right up front in their face. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because I want you folks to do well. And I want you folks to have the accurate information. And you got people that, because they're getting free shit, it's a game to them. It's ridiculous is what it is. So anyway, let's change subjects. No on that one, Leo. No on that one. I wouldn't do the River Pro with the expandable battery, nor would I do the River 600 like I got with the expandable battery, which turns it into the River Max. I honestly wouldn't do either one of those two. Now, the River 600 by itself, I don't think there's any problems with it. There seems to be a lot of issues when they go to put on the second battery. They seem to run into a ton of issues. So, and I'm just going by the groups. As you saw there, I'm in multiple Facebook groups for EcoFlow, and I pay close attention. And those are the ones I see the big problems with. The EcoFlow River Pro, and again, the River Pro itself is from my understanding, from what I can tell, pretty solid. It's that adding that extra battery to it that causes a problem. Same with the River 600 / River Max. When you add the battery to it, then it's a Max. That also, I've seen a lot of people have issues. However, the bigger units like the Delta Pro and the extra batteries, I haven't seen any issues with those. Now, that being said, I wanna emphasize this too. There are a lot of people that I've seen say that once they just kept playing with it and just kept trying, and you know, a lot of it, sorry, sounds like I'm stuttering and stuff, but a lot of it sounds like it comes down to firmware updates. And there are individuals that say they just keep at it and keep trying and eventually it works. So I want to make sure to add that too. If you really have your mindset on that, I haven't seen too many issues with the River Pro in and of itself. I've only seen issues when trying to connect that extra battery. So if if you're the type of person that is persistent, if you're the type of person that is, I won't say necessarily good at diagnosing, because they really, I don't think, have a good way to tell you the one answer to fix it, to get it to accept the battery. But it would seem that most people that do play with it for a little bit do eventually get it to recognize the battery, and it works fine. So that's what I know on it. So okay, let's talk about this. Well, honestly, I'm thinking it's probably because the China thing hasn't lit up like the 4th of July yet. I'm saying yet. I just had news come in a little bit ago. And it seems like a lot of the attention real quickly got switched. Surprise, surprise. To the next boogeyman. And the next boogeyman is the militia, extremist, militia violent extremist. I'm not doubting the document. I'm not doubting Veritas, not one bit. I have no reason to. Because in fact, I've got something to show you that I talked about right here early on. I mean, one of the first shows, I believe. Hell, it might have been the first show I showed this. Possibly. Very possibly. And in the description of tonight's show, you will see a link under the title March 2013 Watchlisting Guidance. That is this page right here. You can go there and download it at your leisure. 166 pages. Okay? It might not have been the first show, but like maybe the second show. I covered this just for a little bit of reference. And down here, and many people have seen this, I believe there's 72 different things is what it boils down to, that they could use as reasons, flags if you will, to more or less investigate you for domestic terrorism. Right? Anything from losing fingers, or having missing fingers, yeah, that's on the list, to using cash to purchase stuff. Okay? Yeah. And I think the flags are on there too, because that's one thing that's on these. Yeah, I've got 2 of them, right? So is this like Pokemon? Am I supposed to take that FBI document and like collect them all, get all the flags? So I've got to get busy if that's how I'm supposed to be doing it. I've got 2. That's a start. Anyway, I find it amazing what's all in this document. And if you haven't seen this document before, I recommend you take a peek through it. I mean that. I know it's 166 pages. Just scan, and then, let's see. Here's, let's see, hang on. I like the I'm gonna answer you on that, Darlene. Just one, or I'm gonna speak to that, Darlene. Just one moment. Leo, the Renogy rigid panels. I mean, unless you've got another specific brand or anything like that, they produce well. They got a good warranty. They've been known to hold up well. And they're a good price. I like the Renogy. But I don't know. There's a lot of people that want to go out and just either get panels that don't have a long-standing name, or they're from places, I don't want to piss too many people off, but like some people will go out and get Harbor Freight panels and stuff, and they'll work, they're fine, but the thing of it is of any panel, whether it be a rigid panel or a portable panel, delamination is like your enemy. Just because you have a rigid panel doesn't mean it's not going to delaminate. But the difference is the rigid panels are mounted with glass, and just in the entire way they're designed and the cells encapsulated, they have a lot more resistance to getting, I'm assuming it's air and whatnot that gets up in there and starts the delamination. But it happens to pretty much all panels. It's just the rigid panels take a lot longer. So, yeah, just the Renogy 100 watts or whatever. Now on to Carrie Lake. I haven't taken another peek and looked. I did look earlier. I think it was earlier this morning. I looked to see if they ever, I I was wanting to say, I'll just say it, shit or get off the pot. I was trying to find a way around saying I don't like cursing, especially on the show. I'm not a big fan of it. Honestly, I don't even cuss that much anymore in just life. I don't. Anyway, Carrie, yeah, they were just screwing around saying that not all the votes were in, or I guess all the precincts or whatever haven't reported or whatever. But here's the thing that I'm trying to figure out. And I don't know because I don't follow this stuff very much, so you'd probably have to help me out on here. But this is primary, so she was up against another GOP candidate. So I'm assuming that it's the whatever you want to call it, the folks that the leadership, more or less, the GOP leadership, I guess, don't want her, I'm assuming. That's the only thing I could imagine. She is, in my opinion, from what I've seen, which is very limited, a very straight shooter. There are only two people that I would actually be tempted to go and register and vote for. And Carrie Lake is one of them. The other one is Tyler Lee. He is the other one. So I believe he's North Carolina, though. So I mean, it's not a possibility for me for either one. And I'm not a Democrat, so if I passed away, they couldn't have my vote. So anyway, yeah, it's really messed up. But yeah, this is very interesting. I think it's in here that it talks about the different things. They've got a list, I think it's like 72 different things. And I had it, and then I bet I lost it. Anyway, it's in here. If you're interested in checking it out, the link is in the description of tonight's video. And that's here from The Intercept. I actually recommend that you download a copy of it. So, again, it was one of the very first shows we did. I went over this document. But, yeah, they aren't joking. And the thing with Project Veritas and the FBI, that doesn't shock me in the least bit. But what I want to impress, don't let these folks make it the boogeyman of the week. Don't let them sit there and fearmonger you to death on it. Why? Because I just showed you a document from 2013 that makes that document look uneventful. So, I'm just saying. This is a lot more detailed as to what they're looking for and the whole nine. So, there you go. Don't know of anything else other than the tabs I've got open. I think that pretty well. I'm trying to get a drink of coffee and not kill everything on the table. I like my coffee. What can I say? So, yeah. This headline came out just right. Wasn't it this one? Yeah, this one came out just right, right before I went live. U.S. announces military activity near Taiwan. So, as you know, China has been doing military exercises around, literally, Taiwan. And fired some missiles off and all of that. Now, check this out. U.S. Navy ships and planes will transit the Taiwan Strait in the next 2 weeks, the White House announced on Thursday. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby condemned Chinese military drills in the area and said the Pentagon had ordered the aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan and her escorts to remain near Taiwan to monitor the situation. The Reagan and her accompanying ships are based in Japan and were deployed to the East China Sea in recent days as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi paid a visit to Taipei against Chinese objections. Beijing has responded to Pelosi's visit by launching extensive drills around Taiwan and firing a dozen missiles across the island. Amid heightened tensions, U.S. President Joe Biden decided it would be prudent to order the U.S. aircraft carrier strike group to stay in the area for a little bit longer than they were originally planned, according to Kirby. The spokesman also condemned the Chinese missile test as irresponsible and at odds with our long-standing goal of maintaining peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait and in the region. We will not be deterred from operating in the seas and the skies of the Western Pacific, consistent with international law, as we have for decades, supporting Taiwan and defending a free and open Indo-Pacific, he said. As part of that effort, the U.S. will conduct standard air and maritime transits through the Taiwan Strait in the next 2 weeks, Kirby added. The White House also confirmed earlier reporting that the U.S. Air Force had postponed a scheduled test of a Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile, but Kirby insisted that the test will happen in the near future and that the U.S. nuclear deterrent was safe, secure, and effective. So anyway, if you thought they were done with the nonsense over there, they're not. This is insane. Why are we doing this? I don't get it. I mean, with a sane mindset, it doesn't make sense. I really do truly believe, again, whether they're all working in concert with one another or whether there is a rift between them, either way, this is going to bring the world to its knees, and it's going to bring so many people to scream for the one world government and just, whatever, just take care of me, just end this horror. Crazy. U.S. Senate approves NATO expansion, so not only are we stirring the pot in the Indo-Pacific, we're back over in the UK and dealing with the Ukrainian nonsense. The U.S. Senate has voted overwhelmingly to ratify Sweden and Finland's membership of NATO, another step toward expanding the U.S.-led military bloc after its 30 members formally committed to the move. Lawmakers approved the measure 95-1 on Wednesday in what President Joe Biden called a historic vote, which sends didn't he call his vote a historic? Yes, he did. Sends an important signal of the sustained bipartisan U.S. commitment to NATO. Yeah, hide them from the channel. No ho here. No ho here. Anyway, let's see. The United States remains committed to the security of Sweden and Finland. We will continue working to remain vigilant against any threats to our shared security, the president added, vowing to sign the accession protocols to formally approve the two countries' membership. So that is like done and over with. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I believe, I don't think the House has, I think they're done. Wait a minute. With Wednesday's vote and President Biden's signature, 20 of the NATO's 30 states will have ratified members. Okay, so I'm assuming that all he has to do is sign it now. So he needs to take his pen away. France warns of winter gas cuts. So, and I'm sure you're going to be hearing this across the board. And I hope not. But, wouldn't that be crazy if they said we had gas shortages here and yet we were shipping a bunch of LNG over to Ukraine and the UK and the EU? I could see it happening. I could absolutely see it happening. French companies might have to reduce energy consumption during the coming winter, the government warned on Wednesday. France's natural gas reserves are nearing full capacity. Energy Minister Agnes Pannier-Runacher, I'm not sure how you'd say that, has told broadcaster C News, but that this, however, might not be enough. The main players, government agencies, and businesses must reduce their consumption of gas as well as electricity, because the latter is very often produced on the basis of natural gas. In these circumstances, we must save both gas and electricity, Pannier-Runacher told C News. So, not looking good over there. I'm telling you, I think it's going to get rough over there. I really do. And so does Germany. This article here, Germany risks facing a winter of anger, says the media. And, when I'm talking about puppets and puppet masters, I want you to think about this. I showed you a document from back in 2013. Project Veritas has brought you a new document that was just leaked. And now we're talking about Germany. And I just want you to put that in the back of your head about what's going on in the United States. And just pay attention to the wording here. Germany's federal and regional governments are bracing for a potential wave of protests which might come this autumn or winter, the state-funded ARD and RBB broadcasters reported this week. Chancellor Olaf Scholz's cabinet fears that rising food and energy prices could lead to social unrest and be exploited by various radical movements, the outlet explained. According to the media, the protests might be similar to the ones Germany experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic when the government faced resistance to its lockdown and vaccination policies. ARD's Tagesschau news service reported that some groups have already sought to organize protests in Berlin under the slogans Revolt, Uprising, and Civil War. Interesting, right? Oh no. Wait, there's much, much more. According to the reports, the protests might be similar to those experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic when the government faced resistance to its lockdown. Didn't it say that up there? Yeah, it did. Right here. They repeated that. The new rallies might once again unite people known as the queer dinker lateral thinkers. That's the only way I know how to pronounce it. Queer dinker. I'm telling you, there's dongs in the show tonight. Queer dinker. The lateral thinkers, apparently, in Germany. This is a loose organization of grassroots movements that became prominent during the anti-lockdown protests. I was hoping you caught that. The German media has repeatedly pointed to the movement's supposed links, listen to this, to various far-right extremist groups. Where have we heard this before? It seems like I keep hearing about these dangerous, these just horrible far-right extremists. But then when they start talking about who these far-right extremists are, I'm thinking, I don't even vote. Right? How am I going to be far right when I don't fall for the right or the left? Huh. Imagine that. So, I'm telling you, there are global masters. And all these, not necessarily every single politician, but the large majority of these politicians, any politician that's been there for over 10 years, I'm telling you right now, any politician that's been there for over 10 years is on the dole. Because if they're not on the dole, they'll never make enough money to get reelected. And if they don't play ball, they'll just bring out the videotapes that, that possibly Epstein and his little miss thing I'm telling you, that was what they did. That's what they did. That was their purpose. That was their job. In my opinion. I guess that don't matter. I'll still get whacked, right? Anyway, crazy. I wanted to make sure, though, that I made it at least to that statement, because this is Germany, and they're talking about the far-right extremist groups. Kind of like the militia violent extremists. They've always got these names. And here, the Russian Ministry of Defense is saying the U.S. government may be complicit in the emergence of COVID. Settle down, YouTube. I'm just reading. Russia's defense ministry says it's investigating the possible role of the U.S. Agency for the International Development in the creation of the COVID-19 virus. In a press briefing on Thursday, the head of the Russia's Radiation, Chemical, and Biological Defense Forces, Lieutenant General Igor Krylov, claimed that U.S.-backed biolaboratories in Ukraine had been conducting questionable research and clinical tests on Ukrainian citizens, and that over 16,000 biological samples, including blood and serum samples, were exported from the territory of Ukraine to U.S. and European countries. He went on to explain that a statement from Jason Crow, a member of the U.S. House of Representatives Intelligence Committee, who warned Americans that their DNA samples could be used to create targeted biological weapons, caused Russia's defense ministry to take a fresh look at the origins of the COVID pandemic. Taking into account the interest of the U.S. administration in the study of narrowly targeted biological agents, such statements force us to take a fresh look at the causes of the novel coronavirus pandemic and the role of U.S. military biologists in the emergence and spread of the COVID-19 pathogen, Krylov said. I just want to remind folks, because a lot of these details a lot of folks don't think about, they may not have ever heard or known. When Trump would talk about the origin of COVID, he said it in a very particular way. And I have to wonder if he said that in that particular way because he was trying to, I don't know, kind of shine a negative light on China, But is that what he was doing? Or was he talking about China, Ukraine? China. There was a lab in China, and I may have, hang on, let me put lab and let me remove map, and it's, if I'm not mistaken, spelled C-H-Y. I thought it was C-H-Y-N-A. I'm pretty sure. And anyway, the way Trump said China, it would almost make sense that he could be talking about this particular facility. Maybe I'm not spelling it quite right, but just makes me wonder. And here, and again, I'm going to reiterate, YouTube, I'm just reading an article. African nation reports first death linked to COVID jab. On Thursday, South African health authorities said they had, for the first time, established a direct link between the death of an individual and Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. The South African Health Products Regulatory Authority said in a statement that it informed of a fatal case of a rare neurological disorder called Guillain-Barré syndrome. No. Is that the same Guillain-Barré syndrome that a bunch of us got censored for? I didn't get censored necessarily for talking about that in particular. Some did. Following vaccination with J&J's Janssen vaccine. The patient's personal details were not disclosed due to a confidentiality considerations. Sharpa CEO Botumilo Samitamakatila. I have no idea. I tried though. I put the effort out. I was way off though. Said that causality assessment conducted in full compliance with the methodology established by the World Health Organization concluded the case was indeed a vaccine product-related event. Vaccine product-related event. I kind of like the way that sounds. A vaccine product-related event. I do like that. The events reported in the vaccine recipient were consistent with the case definition for GBS, and no other likely cause of GBS was identified at the time of illness, she said. So, there had been claims of this much earlier than now, but we got in trouble for talking about it. Lightning hits people near the White House. Well, I mean, it's not been plastered all over the news non-stop, so apparently it didn't hit the right people. At least 4 people have suffered severe injuries following a lightning strike in Lafayette Park just outside the White House. Emergency services in Washington, D.C. confirmed on Thursday evening. Apparent lightning strike, Lafayette Park, Northwest, I guess. The District of Columbia Fire and Emergency Medical Services Department said in a tweet, adding that first responders are on scene in the process of treating and transporting 4 patients, all in critical condition. 2 adult male and 2 female victims were rushed to local hospitals with critical life-threatening injuries, authorities added. And that would be all there is to that. There wasn't even that much whenever I put it up here, so. I have a sip of coffee, and we'll do some headlines. Oh, man. Took the F-35, not the F-35, the F-22 for a couple of spins today. Once up in Alaska. That was okay. I didn't really get down in a in mountains that were a lot of fun. They were kind of I like to get into mountain valleys that are like real windy. I picked some lame ones. But flew around New York, had fun chasing some people for a while, slammed it into the ground. It's usually how it ends. At some point I'll slam it into the ground. All right. And I went ahead and I installed I did a debloat, a driver debloat for my video driver. Because some people claimed it really helped their performance in the sim. And so I did it. I did this probably, 2-3 weeks ago. And I can't really tell you that I really noticed a difference. And so I knew that I was one update behind on the driver. So I did the whole uninstall the driver thing. And then just went ahead and put in their generic run-of-the-mill GeoForce experience stuff. And anyway, it's amazingly running real smooth now. It's awesome. So you might see me pop on and either fly live, or I might make a video or something. Probably fly live. I'd rather fly live. Let's see. Okay, let me run through these headlines, and we'll get the heck out of here for the week. Sounds like a plan, man. Germany unveils looming COVID restrictions. Taiwan fired flares at Chinese drones. China vows to punish offenders. Beijing kicks off unprecedented drills around Taiwan. Germany blames Russia for gas turbine impasse. Is that impasse? I think that's impasse is how that's pronounced. Impasse. Zelensky wants talks with China. Britain warned of astronomical inflation next year. Ukraine asked for POWs to be placed in prison. It's shelled, says Russia. Taiwanese envoy invites German MPs to visit the island. Siemens accuses Gazprom of lying, says media. Ukrainian forces put civilians at risk, says Amnesty. 5 killed as Ukraine shells Donetsk, says DPR. A tally of major brands which quit Russia is revealed. Dead pigs' organs partially revived, says a study. China gives update on Taiwan drills. China scraps high-level meeting with Japan. A moment of deadly Donetsk shelling caught on video. Ukraine wants new global security architecture. Media suggests next stop on Pelosi's Asia trip. Moscow reacts to Amnesty report on Ukrainian use of human shields. Moscow wants the I Hate Russians diplomat to leave. Blast hits Berlin police munition depot. Russian prosecutor wants 9.5 years for Griner. UK's historic rate hike comes with a warning. Kremlin responds to German turbine accusation. Joseph Stalin arrested. Not that Joseph Stalin, another guy that shares the same name got arrested. Be a little hard to arrest the other one. World's first synthetic embryos created. A freighter with Ukrainian grain cleared for transit. NATO reveals its goal in Ukraine conflict. U.S. artificially stokes tensions, says Kremlin. There's a lot of headlines today. Japan makes claim about Chinese missiles. Ukraine bans dissident journalists, says media. New sanctions must include EU visa ban for Russians, says Estonia. Taliban comments on U.S. claim of killing al-Qaeda chief. Moscow slams removal of Russian expo at Auschwitz death camp. Gazprom explains complications in turbine row. A U.S. basketball player, Brittany Griner, found guilty in Russian drugs trial. Kiev blast amnesty report on Ukraine risking civilian lives. Russia tackles toxic currencies. Elon Musk's SpaceX debris found by farmers. North Korea blasts U.S. nuclear hypocrisy. Germany risks facing winter... Oh, I covered that story. Here we go. Griner sentenced to 9 years in Russian drugs trial. And my question is it sentenced to a male jail or female jail? Asking for a friend. Taiwan likens China to North Korea. Poll reveals number of Finns opposing tourist visas for Russians. I'm seriously curious. I want to know whether or not Russia is playing that game. Because if you don't know, Russia is very anti-LGBTQ XRYZW and the 72 genders. Yeah, it's a hell no from Putin. So, yeah, I wonder how that is going to work out there. EU state may become major chip maker, says Reuters. I'll tell you what, other countries damn well better get to, stepping when it comes to the chips. Because if they don't get stepping in a hurry and somehow pull the ability out of their butts to be able to make these very sophisticated chips, man, we're going to be in a lot of trouble fast, I have a feeling. Kremlin reveals real threat to world order. Soros-backed prosecutor fired, I don't know, they might have filed him. Biden responds to Brittany Griner verdict. I covered that. African nation report, I covered that. Russia comments on Nagorno-Karabakh escalation. U.S. declares public health emergency for the monkeypox. Yes, she got her verdict today. She's guilty, and what did I say? 9.5 years, was it? That they, what? 9 years. 9 years in Russian drugs trial. So, yeah, right here. So, we'll see what happens. I know there hasn't really been much, as far as working out a deal. I have a feeling before it's all said and done, they'll make out a deal and we'll let go of, a dozen of really, really, really bad guys to get it and the Whalen guy, Paul Whalen. I'm sorry, I call it it. If you don't know, if you're not, because it's going to be it. That's the only pronoun I got, it. Kremlin reveals, I covered that. Soros-backed prosecutor is fired. African nation report, I already did that. Twice. Let's see. Taiwan tensions impact U.S. missile test. We canceled a missile test. Zelensky accuses Amnesty International of supporting terrorism. EU adds Ukraine's ex-president to the sanctions list. World desperately needs strong leaders, says Orban. And that would be it. That would be it. Fun times, huh? Well, my advice is still the same. It never changes. Keep plugging at it. Keep getting ready. I can't tell you when. None of us can tell you when. Something could blow up within a week with any number of situations. Don't know, but I believe, it's at least the state of Illinois. I don't know if it's national, but sometime this month, I think maybe like around the 18th or something like that. And I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything like that. It's just a point of interest. They are going to be, I know for a fact that it's Illinois, but I don't know if this is going to be a national thing, because actually I thought it was all national. I don't know. My point is that apparently the Department of Health is going to be, I think, something to the effect of changing processors or something like that for the EBT cards. And so as a result, I believe it's going to be down or could be down for like a weekend. So just plug that in the back of your mind too. Let's see. I'm not sure what part you were talking about. I don't think I was talking about anything with video compression. Not tonight. I don't think. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. Like I said, I don't think I was talking about video compression, unless I'm missing it. But alrighty. Well, I am going to hop out of here. You might see me pop on live tomorrow or some point before Sunday, and take you around in the F-22 for a while. You know, it's really my only escape. That's my only outlet. Flight sim. I really enjoy doing it. So, anyway, I am going to get out of here. And, something about, a driver. Oh, no. Yeah, no, that just has to do with my video card. That's all. That just has to do with the driver for my video card. Yep. So, anyway, I'm going to hop out of here. I hope you all have a good evening, a good weekend, a good Shabbat. And God willing, we'll see you on Sunday, maybe sooner. And we'll talk to you then. So as always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.